What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Bourbon Jerk. Thanks for your click. Happy Thursday. As I understand it, is also International Whiskey Day. I'm not really sure what that means, who came up with that, but apparently it's a thing. It is also, I believe, opening day for the baseball season, 2025. So that's exciting. I don't know how many baseball fans we have in here. My Tigers are opening up against the Dodgers, so that should be interesting. Kind of getting into spring, we got March Madness, all that cool stuff, kind of a fun time of the year. So for today's stream, I think this should be pretty fun. We've got one of my buddies in the whiskey community, one of my favorite channels, maybe yours too, Mr. Dusty Dan. And there he is.
What's up, buddy?
What is going on, my friend?
How are you?
I'm good, and we are going to be doing a blind flight with Dan, and he's gonna be playing we're still kicking around names for this game, Dan. When I first put it together, I was watching the Squid Game, so I kind of just went with Jerk Game and used the Squid Game font. But I don't know that it has that ring to it that I'm looking for. I don't know. We're still kicking it around. But anyway, you will be the fourth contestant, and put together a leaderboard here in the near future and put it out for everyone. But I think so far Marty got 6, Scott got 4, and then John from Gentleman and Whiskey got 5. So that's the that's who's that's the field so far.
Okay.
All right. And you see the goofy symbols on the bottles. So, there's no particular order, but as I mentioned to you back screen, what you'll want to be paying attention for is, what type of whiskey is this? What's the ballpark on the proof? Is this something that's pricey, inexpensive? Because you want to guess, which one is the priciest, which one is the least expensive. State of distillation. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And this shouldn't come as a surprise because, like I said, I'm going to ask you the same questions that I ask everybody else. One of the questions will be which of these is a Michigan whiskey. So,
okay,
be on the lookout for that. We'll get into these just a moment. I made a point to pick up some of these Z-Biotics, and with the thought in mind that I ought to be doing these before my streams.
Yep.
I think you can relate to this. Sometimes when you get going on these live streams, you maybe lose track a little bit as far as what you're imbibing, and things can kind of get a little bit away from you. And I got to work tomorrow. So, hey, Z-Biotics. I'm not sponsored by Z-Biotics, by the way, but I have had these before. They do work. So if anyone out there is watching, hey, get at me.
That's it.
Cheers.
Yeah, they work wonders, man. I'm a big fan of those. I just drank when we were backstage, I was drinking the last of my liquid IV. So, but I like Z-Biotics better. Personally.
Yeah, they're a little pricey, but I guess if you buy them, the more you buy, the more you save. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
So let's say hi to a few folks here in chat.
Let me know when I can pour these as well.
Oh, go ahead and pour them. Get them in your glasses and get them ready to go. We've got Dave Vogelsang in the house. What's going on, Dave?
Diamond Dave.
My buddy Roger Reese.
What's up, Raj?
The Top Jimmy. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, buddy?
Todd J. Go Tigers. What's going on, Todd? How you doing, man? Whiskey Nose. Marty. Now it's a party. Yankees beat Hawks Brewers today. I don't know that I can get behind that, Marty. I am not a Yankees guy, man. William Hall, what is going on?
What's up, buddy?
Fun story, Dan, and I'll make this quick. We spun the wheel last week and how you get into my pools, and we'll give this a little bit more explanation here in just a minute, but I'm not monetized, so I can't do super chats. So my entries are all Venmo or PayPal. And when people submit their entries, it's usually got a real name of some sort in the Venmo or the PayPal, and then they've got their YouTube name that's something else. The last stream I did, at the end, we spun it. It was William H. That was one of the winners, and I said, "Oh, it's William Hall." And I found the next day it was was not William Hall. It was somebody else. I think it was Walker H. And he goes, yeah, my name is William. So I'm like, oh, geez. So I had to sort that out. I'm like, I before I start doing the packaging of the giveaways, I always go back and watch to make sure that I didn't mess it up. And sure enough, I kind of messed that one up, but we caught it before anything went out. So
sorry, man, I've made so many mistakes before. One of these smells amazing. I don't know which one it is, but
maybe it's a combination.
It's just popping out at me right now.
We've got Bourbon Dan. What is going on, buddy? Bourbon Dan is another Michigan guy.
Nice.
We got Danny Lopez in the house. Sup, Jerks? You doing performance enhancers? I am. I am juicing. Katie Turk, what's going on?
What's up, Katie?
Daniel Eberly. Cheers, guys. About to pour something. Cheers. Still deciding. All right. Well, let me know what you decide. All right. So I'm going to have to get something here to pour here, Dan. And Sugar Kitty, what's going on? Yeah, I think the one that I'm anxious to get into is this Bomberger's PFG. Have not cracked this yet. I've seen a couple of reviews, and I think everybody that I've watched has had pretty positive feedback on this one. Ooh, nice cork pop.
Yeah, it's one I haven't actually tried yet. I haven't tried that one, so.
The PFG is precision fine grain, which to the uninformed like myself just sounds like a gimmick. Not quite sure what that means exactly. I didn't read the fine print on this one. It was really dark.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, super.
That ain't just the lighting. This is really dark. Finished in precision fine grain oak barrels. So there you go. It's not particularly high proof. I think it's like 101. 100.2. So just over high proof.
Okay.
So,
for some reason I thought it was a higher proof bottle than that, but I guess not.
Yeah, doesn't the Bombergers usually come in like around 108, 110, and then the Shanks is always like in the 90s?
That's what I remember, but maybe I'm thinking of something different.
It's got a nice like maple sugar vibe to it.
Mm.
All right. We are doing a few giveaways, so let's talk about that. And as you can see, the banner running at the bottom. But I thought this was pretty fun. One of the local distilleries here, Detroit City Distilling. This is a single barrel butcher's cut cask strength. They do most of their products are either at 100 proof or at 116. This is one that's at 116 proof, and they kind of package this as a promotion with one of the local smokehouses. So it's the butcher's cut bourbon, and then it's packaged with Country Smokehouse venison whiskey sticks, and apparently the whiskey that they used to cook the sticks is this butcher's cut. So I don't know. I thought it was interesting when I saw these put out. I'm like, well, yeah, I want one of those. I can tell you that the bourbon is good and the sticks are delicious. So first prize tonight is the bottle and the venison whiskey stick. So
nice.
Look out for that. We'll do a second prize. Second prize is going to be the flight that Dusty Dan is going to be sipping through. So it'll be a 4-sample flight. And then, Dan, you sure you want to do this?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Third prize, Dan has been generous enough to put in a sample of Russell's 15. So there you go. 3 prizes tonight, folks. Some good stuff. And very generous of you, Dan. Appreciate that.
Oh, and of course, man. No problem.
All right. Sugar Kitty says, as far as I know, Bombergers does low entry proof. I mean, that tracks, right? All right. So which one you got first?
We're going to go with the X.
All right. And so, yeah, the symbols were to coincide with the Squid Game or the buttons on your PlayStation controller also.
I was going to say, yeah, that's what I was thinking first time I saw them.
Make sure I got my key here for you. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think in this flight, you're going to find at least, let's see, 1 that you've had, probably 2 that you haven't. And I would say it's 50-50 on the on the last one. So might be some new stuff to you here.
Okay. And we're looking for proof, type of whiskey, price, stated distillation.
There you go. Daniel Eberly, you helped me pick a pour of Detroit City Honey Barrel. Those are really good. Is it one of the single barrel picks at the higher proof, or is it one of the 100 proofers? Daniel, let me know. They're both very good, both very different. Let's see. Russell's 15 is the best of 2024. You know, that was the consensus. I think most of the lists that you saw people put out there, that was definitely at or near the top. I didn't have it in mind only because I didn't get a bottle of it. I wasn't able to score one. I did end up getting one, but it wasn't until early this year. But I did get a sample or two of it, and yeah, it was pretty fantastic. I mean, I'm a Russell's fan as it is, but yeah, that 15 was special. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what. I think I did this in a blind. I want to say I thought the 13 was right there with it. And so this year they're going to do the 13 again, but no 15, right?
Yeah. Okay. I for sure thought they were going to try to do something maybe a little bit older than the 15, but it was hard to tell, you know, when I was watching Jason's channel, what Bruce was kind of leading up to. I know he couldn't say anything, but, you know, I was very curious to say the least. Do you want me to go ahead and dive into this or just do nose through?
What I would do, Dan, is just take your notes, enjoy the pour, and then, you know, once you think you've kind of got a handle on it, move on to the next one. Let us know what you're getting at. If you get any interesting notes, if it seems familiar.
Okay.
Spring and fall, Russell's 13 this year. I wonder if those will be any easier to find now that people kind of had a taste of the 15. I sure hope so, because I still haven't seen a 13 on a shelf.
Yeah, neither
I can recall, not down here anyway. What's going on, Jeff? Joey B, what is going on, buddy? Andy Road? I didn't see you in here, but I see him being called out. What's going on, Gandy? Oh yeah, man, the nose on this this Bombergers, this is delicious. 100.2 proof. It was a little pricier than I was expecting. I guess anything is anymore, right?
How much was that?
I think it was 129.
Okay. Yeah, that's a little. Yeah, that's up there.
I think the last time I got Bombergers was 2 years ago, and I want to say that was like 110, maybe 120.
Okay. Got a good nose on the X, I feel. There's some kind of note in there. I can't quite figure that out, but it keeps me going back in for more though. But
Dave, I thought the PFG meant pretty fucking good. You know, it is that. When I was looking at it real close, I read it as PF Chang's. Maybe looking for some Chinese food. It is. I get a lot of maple brown sugar notes on this one. But it is a little light, you know, given the proof. But this is delicious pour.
Yeah. Maybe try to find one of those.
Here's Shayla Summers Daniels. It's their first release, one of the 100 proof bottles. Oh, okay. You know, Daniel, that was probably the one that got me down the Detroit City Distillery rabbit hole. That was the first one of their products that I tried, and I was really surprised how much I liked it. And while I do like the single barrel honeys at the 116 proof, it's like that, like a spicy, stingy honey. If that makes any sense. Whereas the lower proof one that you're drinking, I got like a lot more like soft buttercream, like graham cracker notes. That was just delicious.
That sounds
Right.
good.
Roger Reese on the deck with a cigar, an old line single malt, double oaked Southern cask. Oh, that's a mouthful. Is it any warmer where you're at, Roger, in Toledo or ish? I know you're down in that area. It looked like it was warm outside. My wife and I went for a walk, and it was still pretty freaking cold about an hour ago.
Sure.
What is up, Jeff?
What's going on, Jeff? I do like the nose on X. It's not really nice nose. Some very interesting notes on it though.
Okay. Now, is that one that seems familiar or not so much?
Not so much.
Okay.
I don't feel like I know what this is, but
Now, did you have anything before you came on, or you that's the first pour of the night?
yeah, this is the first pour of the night.
All right. I'll tell you what, this is really sticking to the glass too.
It's starting to open up a little bit more for me on the nose now. You talk about
57 and
that's got a nice viscosity to it, man.
Yeah, I like that one a good bit. Let's see. Richie, my post-work pour is a blend of OGD bonded and the 16. What was it? Was somebody mixed the OGD 114 and the 16, and I thought they told me that was phenomenal. How was that blend, Richie? Does that enhance the 16 at all? I do like the 16, but it's just a little light.
Yeah. I know the only time I think I tried the 16 was when we were all of us were in Kentucky. I think somebody had it.
Yeah, I think that was me.
Yeah, I think it was you actually.
So I came back and my bottle's like, I got about that much left. Yeah, enough to shoot a video and but that's what it's for, you know. That was the first time I had been to Jim Beam, and it was pretty impressive that they put out all of their best bottles. I know they were, I think, a little bit pricier than what you might find them for at a store, but the fact that they put them all right in front of your face.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just looking at everything, and
I think that's the one distillery. Well, I haven't been to a handful, but I know Beam. I don't think I've ever been to Beam.
You know, we went like the morning of like the second day, like we woke up and it was rainy as heck.
Yep.
We woke up, got there just after they opened. They got a gigantic gift. I mean, it's impressive. I mean, if I was to go back and have enough time, I would definitely like to do a tour. Being a pretty impressive campus.
Dave Vogel saying, yes, Dave, I do believe you won, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, you won the Bardstown Cathedral?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Did you get to crack into that, or do you remember cracking into that?
No, I haven't cracked into it yet. I didn't do it the other night. I did do the Three Jacks.
That's what you started with, right?
Yeah, I started with the 3 Jack Daniels, the Barrel King. I think that was it. I don't quite remember some of that, but
cheers, dear. Yeah, I saw you get that sample and the I don't know what would
yeah, I mean they
really went out with the presentation on that one.
They really did. It's a beautiful presentation. I can't wait to crack into that though, man. I'm excited.
I actually had a friend that was down in Louisville when they dropped those. And he's like, is there anything down here that you're looking for? I'm like, yeah, I want the cathedral. He's like, oh, I didn't know about that. So he went there. I guess he was like one of the first that didn't get it. But he said they had a good time at Michter's he said he went to Michter's instead.
Yeah.
Because there's a Bardstown in Louisville.
Yes. Yeah, it is. I think it's newer down there in downtown Louisville. Yeah. I'm dying to try the Jack Daniels 14. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of that one, Dan?
I mean, to be honest with you, I think it's the best of the bunch. I think it's right up there with the 12. But I feel it's odd because I feel the 10 had way more oak influence to it than the
I remember
14.
you saying that it started oakier with the 10 and then got less so.
And then it got sweeter the older it got, which is very odd. But yeah, I mean, to me, I think the 14 is the sweet spot. 12 is really good too. But
I really liked the 12. Was it 2 years ago? I don't know if that was batch one or not. It was the first time they released it in like the 700 milliliter bottle. Loved it. And then I was in some blind competition and I ended up with a Jack 10 and a Jack 12 from I think the following year. I didn't care for them, I guess. I mean, I thought they were okay.
Yeah.
But the first time I had that Jack 12, I was like blown away. It was one of my top 3 whiskeys of the year for whatever year that was. I did get a sample of the 14, and I think that's going to be one of the ones to beat for the year for sure. It's got the 14-year age statement, but I think more than that, it's got the proof.
Yeah.
And if there's anything that was missing, from that previous release of the Jack 12, it's a little bit of that proof. I mean, it's real nice at 107. Maybe even drinks a little bit bigger, but it's not the 126 or whatever the 14's got.
Yeah. I think that's 120. Yeah, 126.3.
What's going on, Bourbon School? Cheers to you, man. SoCal Jake, how you doing? John Martino, cheers to you. Thomas Anderson, picking up my Jack 14 tomorrow for MSRP.
Oh,
I don't know. You got somebody owes you a favor.
That's right.
Good for you, Thomas. Thomas is up north a bit in Michigan, so he's another Michigan guy. So if you found one here in Michigan, cheers to you, man. You did better than me.
Yeah, this one's opened up nicely now.
Are you still on the X?
Oh yeah, I didn't know if I should move on or not.
No, you go at your own pace. We're in, what we'll likely do is wrap up the entries for the giveaways at like 8:45.
Okay.
And then probably get out of here at 9-ish. So you got a good 45 minutes to get through the next 3. So you have plenty of time. Pace yourself.
That
ain't Monday night.
That is hard to do. It's funny because I know me, Katie, Ethan, Adam always kind of joke about that. Like I am horrible at pacing myself. I'm just like go.
I am too, Dan. And that's something I'm trying to be more aware of. When I do some of these, and went on that barrel pick last year at the end of last year with Gary and Scott and Jason, and I didn't pace myself. It's the first time I ever won on one, so I was kind of like the deer in the headlights, So I did learn: go slow, pace yourself, drink lots of water, and you don't have to try everything that somebody puts in front of you.
Yep. That's I'm guilty of that. But I mean, last night it's like, how did I get so drunk? Well, that's what happened.
Check the replay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I remember you were looking at that bottle. I forget which one it was, and you're like, "Yeah, there's enough in here for me to kill." And I'm like, "Don't do it, don't do it."
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, like that optical illusion at the bottom of the bottle where the glass is thicker or something. You're like, that looks like 2 ounces, and then you get it into your gland, and it's like up to here. And you're like, oh my God.
Man, I don't know. It was really weird. I'm glad I Ubered because I don't remember putting the glasses away. I don't remember it. I don't remember a lot, but.
All right, Thomas spent a ton of cash last year to look at. The key is always pay with cash. Do they give you a discount or I don't know. I rarely carry cash anymore, I feel like. There's a link to Dan's page. Thanks, Richie, for putting that out there.
Thanks, Richie.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, you know what? I wanted to mention this, or at least ask you about it. I noticed that for this year, the last few months, you've been steering your video releases more towards the shorts.
Yeah.
And I've been doing the opposite. And I'm sure that we both have our reasons. We were doing a lot of shorts last year. One, because I didn't write out a lot of videos or plan, and I would just grab a bottle and maybe open it, say a few things, and boom, you can crank out 59 seconds of a video. So it's to have content. And for some reason, like some of them would catch on, we'd get a lot of views, and we'd get some subscribers. But then if you didn't drop them on the right date, you get like none.
Yep, I found that out too.
So,
but then, for instance, like I just put out the Middle West Spirits, and I know that's not it's not a hot review or by any means. I just put out their straight bourbon whiskey, and it got like 117 views or something like that. And it's not what it used to put out. Like I feel like some of the reviews used to put out a lot more, but then all of a sudden it just kind of started dying off. And then I tried shorts, and some of them really started to kind of pick up and move and all that. And I just feel like the time it takes to actually go through and put together a whole video, a whole review, upload it, make a whole thumbnail.
Yeah,
it's just not, you're not getting the ROI on it, man, unfortunately. So
yeah, and that's kind of what I was thinking. We were doing, like I say, like the beginning of last year, maybe towards the middle of last year, we would put out the shorts. They would get a certain amount of views no matter what. And like then I want to say it's like in the fall, maybe towards the winter, they would kind of tail off. And so, they must be changing the algorithm or whatever. And then like we put out like a string of them, and none of them really took off. So, and it wasn't like we changed what we were doing. We were still doing, what I thought was, some pretty interesting bottles. So I don't know if it was really that. So I don't know, dude. I can't figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because I just released not the short that I just did on the K Luke, but the last one. What the hell was it? Gosh, I can't remember what it was, but I released it on a Friday, and I can tell you, releasing shorts on a Friday for me does not work. It doesn't work. So I've kind of, started to figure out that, that doesn't work. I think Tuesdays, if I can do my lives on Monday, I drop a short on Tuesday, and then I can drop a short on Thursday. I think that's kind of what, if I'm going to do 3 total things, that's the days that I'm going to do it on. So. But Fridays do not. They don't.
I think we had it figured out that we would drop a short on like a Wednesday and a Sunday, and they would do good. And then they just stopped doing good.
Yeah, I mean it's tough, and I still want to make content, but I just feel like again I'm just not getting the ROI on doing a full review. It's I don't know.
It's nice to get the clicks, and then when you don't, it can be a little bit frustrating. When we would have a dud, we would just say, you know what, as long as we're making content that we think is good, we'll keep putting it out. Whatever, as long as we're having fun, we think it's decent.
Yeah,
we'll just keep doing.
Yeah, I mean that is a good point, Touchy. I mean, I know but the important part to that is to let the content creator know that, hey, this is a great review, because otherwise, if I put out a video and I get a comment or on it and that's it, then sometimes I feel like, hey, well, maybe this one wasn't a great idea. But it doesn't hurt to leave a comment, you know what I mean, and or leave your thoughts, leave your opinions on there. That way it gives me something to feed off of and say, hey, you know what, this was a good idea. Maybe this wasn't a great idea. But I do agree with you. I guess if the content is good and and people enjoy it, it's just a matter of like letting.
Or I mean, as long as you're putting out stuff that you think is worthwhile and you enjoy doing it, then that's the lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
Clicks be damned. I think we were excited because we were like, oh wow, we're doing shorts, and then they expanded it to like 3 minutes now.
Yes.
The ones that we did that were 2 minutes didn't do as good as the ones that were 1 minute. So I don't know.
I haven't done one that's 3 minutes. I've only done the ones that are just one. That's it.
But yours, I think that the longer short maybe kind of suits what you do, because I would go on and do like, I don't know, 4 or 5 quick notes. I usually don't have a ton of thoughts. I'm not great at picking out the notes and all the comparisons. You're really good at like dissecting all of these particulars. And it's hard to, cram that into 59 seconds. So now that you can go 2 minutes and, you can get out all of the notes that you could pull. I mean,
that's true.
You pretty well.
Spend a little bit more time with you. I appreciate you guys in the comments saying that. Much, much appreciated, guys. Thank you.
Yeah. And then, those of you that do channels or do videos, I mean, what goes into these things. It might not look like a ton, but I promise you there's there's a video track, there's an audio track, there's editing, there's lighting and filters, all this shit. And so it's a whole deal. So I'm lucky because Tyler gets to do all that, and that's his.
Yep. I don't get to play around with the lighting, man. So you get me raw. That's it. However the lighting is that day, that's it.
No, and so yours, your content's more on the serious side, because there's no fluff. It's here's the bottle, here's my thoughts, and boy, you really get into them too. You really rip them apart. So I think you do a good job of doing it, especially considering you're doing it all yourself. Because if I had to do that, I don't know how many videos I'd be able to.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Man, on this, there's an interesting note on this O here. And it is
people know the times you're going to release them. It helps. Yeah, that's another thing. It's hard for me to stick to a schedule.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of whenever it's ready, we'll try to get it out.
There's a chocolate malt and a like yellow cake note on this.
Which one is that, Dan?
Oh,
chocolate malt and cake.
Yeah, like a yellow cake.
Okay, and that's O.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Mash and Drum will do single bottle reviews up to quadruple base, 5 minutes to 20 minutes, and all good. Yeah, I mean, Jason, I think, is on top of the game here in terms of how he can pick apart a whiskey, and then also the production that he can put together on a consistent basis. I don't know how that dude had the time.
No, I don't know either. It's crazy. There is some kind of fruitiness popping out there, though.
The shorts are supposed to hit active viewers. You know what I do notice, Dan, is like I'll go on to the dashboard for my channel, and it'll have like in the middle, like the 3 most viewed videos of the last like 24 or 48 hours. And there's always some random short from like 8 or 9 months ago that's on there. So I think people sometimes they just come back depending on if you're scrolling through.
Yeah, that is odd.
Because I'm like looking at what are people watching that I did, and it's like wow, okay, I did that video about 9 months ago. That's wild. Okay, whatever.
Oh my God.
An OG whiskey tuber is planning to make a return. Dan knows him, and you'll enjoy having him as a future guest. I think I might know who you're talking about. I've heard some rumblings, but I've never seen his content.
Interesting.
As far as OG, when would you say that is, Richie? Like 17, 18-ish? Like when it's Bourbon Night and a few others were kind of getting going? Yeah, Travis, that's what the one that I've been saying. Is he a Michigan guy too?
I think he is, actually. I got a very interesting note on the triangle.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the one that I've had, but I got like rhubarb pie.
Rhubarb pie. Now that is very specific.
Yeah, man, that is interesting. And I didn't get it at first, but going back through, oh my God, that's so weird. Man, that brings back a lot of memories there. Wow.
You know, when I would, drink some of these craft beers, whenever there was some that was like or any beer that had like a rhubarb flavor to it, I would always try it because I love that flavor profile. For whatever reason. Chris is Michigan. Okay, so that's kind of what I had heard. All right, let me some homemade rhubarb pie.
Oh,
I don't have rhubarb pie, but you know what I do? There is a local farmers market that does like these jams, and I always get the rhubarb preserves or rhubarb jam or whatever it is, and it's so friggin' good. I eat it on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches all year.
that is just the crazy. I don't know if I've ever gotten rhubarb off of something before, but man, that reminds me of that. Holy crap.
That's I'm gonna have to go back to that and see if I.
Whoa, that is weird. I mean, I don't know how long these have been sitting out now, since I guess right when we started the stream, but that is wild.
All right, well, I'm gonna tell you what, that one that you're drinking is a newer bottle of.
I haven't even sipped anything. I've only been nosing.
Okay, it's one that I maybe have only had a pour of once.
Okay.
So yeah, I might have to go back to that one.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and start sipping on these here.
There you go. Most channels came from Michigan to start. Is that true? I mean, obviously the Bourbon Junkies, and I know that.
I mean, Ralphie was. I'm not sure.
When you say Ralphie, I just think of the Scotch guy.
Yeah, I know he's been around for a minute.
Bourbon Dan, do you do a channel or if you do, post tell us about it in the comments so that we can check it out. But Travis, it's interesting you mentioned that. I think the reason why I got so sucked into whiskey too was when I first started watching it was the Bourbon Junkies. And they had, I realized they were from Michigan. I think I was watching ADHD, and he had mentioned that he was from Michigan. And I was like, oh, this is wild. And so I joined their Patreons or whatever.
So if one of these is a split state, how would that work? If one of these is like a split state, how would that work?
Okay. Fair question. Well, I'll tell you what, Dan. I mean, I can tell you the format of the question that you might be alluding to. Like, so for instance, one of the questions is, which of these was distilled in Kentucky? Okay, so if you think it's a split state, then one of them is Kentucky, and you're going to get a point for that.
Okay. All right.
Okay. And then, like I said, there's going to be one of them in there that is a Michigan product. Junkies Klein. Did Klein have a channel, Travis?
I think he did, yeah. Something destination or something, or what the hell is it called? Oh man, I can't.
Because I've met Klein a couple times, and I just knew he was Gary's friend, and that he was pretty tight with the Bourbon Junkies. Mm-hmm. He's been at Evernorth when I've seen him.
Oh gosh, horse looning is the reason I got into whiskey, man.
I was definitely watching Ralphie when I was down a Scotch rabbit hole.
I remember watching horse looning. Like I was just.
I don't know that one.
I was just flipping through YouTube, and all of a sudden, there's this older guy, glasses. I think he's from Germany. Has a barrel and the bottle that he's drinking on there, and I just kind of looked at it, and all of a sudden he starts tasting the whiskey, and he keeps on. He's like, "Oh, I'm getting this." I'm like, "What? You get out of here!" So I kind of started watching him a little bit more, and it just so happened that I had a bottle that he was reviewing, so I poured along with him, and I was trying to get the notes, and I was like, okay, like I can kind of see this, but kind of not, because my palate wasn't really developed then. But then I just started kind of following, some other people who were on there and watching some other people, and that's kind of how I took my dive into the whiskey world. So
if you would point to, say, 3 channels that kind of influence you directly to launch a channel, who would you point to?
I mean, Horse Looning for sure. He was the very first one that I ever saw. Probably Horse Looning. I mean, honestly, probably Horse Looning. Was it Ralphie? Maybe Ralphie, and then Jason, because I kind of got into Jason when he was still very, very, very early into it. So I would say them 3.
I think one of the first ones that I was following was the Dan and Rex.
Yeah, Whiskey Tribe.
Yeah. And then, I would do like a search to see what bottle should I buy, and I would type in a bottle, and every time I typed in a bottle, Jason had a review. He's on top of it, man.
Yeah.
Horse Looning. So Richie, is that the name of his channel? Is it just Horse Looning? His son handles the channel now. Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be OG for sure. Okay. What's up, Peter White?
What's up, Peter? Liquor Hound, yeah.
Is that sounds like a store?
He's that's Chris. I forget his last name, but he's been around for a while too.
Whiskey.com. Okay. Minnick had me on a lot. You run Minnick, Marty? Wow. And it was all downhill from there. Downhill for him or you? No, that's wild. Send me a link to that. I'll check that out for sure, man.
Whoa.
Marty, I saw you got a video dropping tomorrow. It's a review on something. What is it?
Whoa.
Is it this? Yeah, I really enjoy this one, Dan.
Which one? The PFG?
I'm still on this Bombergers. I just finished the pour. I probably had about, I don't know, 1.5 ounces, 2 ounces of it. It's really good.
Nice.
Just packed with flavor, like dark cherries and maple sugar is what I'm getting. Not a powerful finish, but it does maybe kind of sit there a little bit.
Is viscosity nice on it?
Yeah.
You figure with it being low, it might tend to stick around the palate a little bit more. Chris Pyle from Sour Mash Manifesto is the original bourbon reviewer on YouTube. Plus
vlogging. Okay.
I've never even. I don't know.
What year would you say that was, Peter? Like 2015 or before then?
Man, what is that?
Richie, I feel like you are the resident Whiskey Tube historian.
That's so true.
I feel like Richie knows everybody.
Every channel. Every channel. He knows it all. He's a wrench. He's a wrench everywhere.
Richie's the man.
Mm-hmm.
More recently, the Bourbon Buddies. Yeah, see, I've never heard of the Bourbon Buddies. I love them.
I had a really rough night one night. And Richie, I don't know if I called Richie or Richie called me, but I remember hearing his voice and I was like, oh man, like I'm actually really talking to you, man. Like outside the, and it was
he just lived in your phone or something.
Yeah, it was a really rough night I was having. I remember I was driving and we chatted for a bit, man. I'll never forget that. So
no, Richie just seems like a genuinely good dude.
Mm-hmm.
And can't have enough people like that. Cheers to you, Richie.
Yep, absolutely.
I've been around since the beginning of time. You know what I'm going to drink next is I've got a little bit of this Bomberger's 2024, which is 108 proof, so it's a higher proof. It's quite a bit lighter. Well, Danny, if you're still in chat, I'm finally getting to this one, buddy. You had this for a while.
Man, see, that tastes familiar.
Which one is that?
The square.
Okay, square. So that's the last one for you is the square.
No, I got the circles and last in my order.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Wow, that is a mixed bowl of fruit.
You know,
like big time, like peach and grape, and
I think that'll make sense when you figure out what it is.
Like,
when I tell you what it is.
Like, I feel like that is definitely finished. That guy has to be finished. I don't know if anything has ever tasted like that before. That is not. Holy crap, man! What the hell is that? Almost smells like it might be finished in like brandy barrels.
Richie says, Tom, there's a lot of Dans here. Dusty Dan, Bourbon Dan, Danny Lopez, Daniel Eberly. I think a lot of Dans in there. You know, if you look at the total amount of people in here and the amount of Dans, I mean, that's a very impressive ratio. Dans are wild. Whiskey Bitch was an original? Was that a channel? Are you messing with me?
Whiskey.
I figured like that would get a lot of clicks.
Wait. Oh, Whiskey Bitch.
Top Jimmy. What about Lieutenant Dan?
Lieutenant Dan, ice cream.
Oh, that's Lieutenant Dan. All right. Richie says Peter White has been there since the beginning of Whiskey Tube, too.
Yeah, Peter White's been around for a minute, man.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you guys are hanging out with us. It's come to this. That is wild, whatever that is. I mean, that's that is interesting. And you say that is square. Okay.
That is like a super mixed bowl of fruit, man.
So you said you tried the walleye double barrel. Is that the only one you said you had?
Yeah, I know Katie and Ethan had some walleyes there, but I don't know if I tried them all. I think they had 3. I think they had a single barrel, they had the double barrel, and then I want to say there was one more. I can't remember if I tried 1 or 2, but they were both fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And then got me more excited to actually go and do this pick. So,
and then how about the dragon's milk? Have you had a lot of that?
I have not. The only time I would have tried that is if someone brought it to Kentucky.
I don't think
anyone. We had that big, that big thing. That'd be it though.
I think they were just getting stuff out, and it really it's at the end of last year, beginning of this year is when they really started ramping up distribution. New Holland's doing great things now. Yeah, Dan, I agree. And
yep,
one of the things
on the lookout, man. We're gonna be doing a pick of New Holland. So and the gentleman here on the screen is coming with us. So be ready for that, man.
I don't know that New Holland is doing picks for the Dragon's Milk Origin stuff. I could be wrong. But the walleye picks, I've started to notice, the groups cranking them out, like local. The Bourbon Junkies did one. Josh at Stuff and Whiskey just did one. You might see one from Dusty Dan here. I think that's one that you're going to start to see in more and more groups because they are cranking it out. It is different. It is, I think, in terms of what bottles cost these days, I think it's pretty economical and it's really damn good.
Yeah.
The one that I sent you from Josh, that's really good. And what I think is cool is like their flavor profile is consistent across all of their products. So if you like it, you're going to like everything that they do because it's just a little bit nuanced, but you can still get like, and to me, it's like super fruity, man, like Hawaiian punch, like fruit basket, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's really unique. And if you like it's there in their bourbons and it's there in their ryes. I think Franchi tells me it has to do with their pot still.
That's interesting. Yeah. I mean,
he tends to know what he's talking about. Is there an old Dragon Bones rye?
Yes, there is an old Dragon Bones rye. That is Backbone, though.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Is there a new old new one? Oh, I don't know about new, but I'm not sure about that, Richie. Yeah, Backbone. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's a new one or not.
So different, so great value. Yeah, Bourbon Dan, I tend to agree. Some of their finished stuff is a little bit pricey, but I think those are really limited. So I think it might have to do more with quantity than anything else.
Yeah.
Backbone. There you go.
I'm going to taste through this one more time here.
Okay.
Just to make sure. Yeah. This is a good flight, man. Very different.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of everything in there. Well, I mean, it's a pretty wide range of things. Like I said, at least one I know you've had, at least one I know you haven't, and then two that I probably maybe. I don't know, man. It'll be interesting when the reveal comes along here. We'll say that.
So now I'm getting like this smoky note on the triangle, like a charry kind of smoke.
All right, so this Bomberger is from 2024 at 108 proof. It's actually really good as well. I wouldn't put it on par with the PFG, but I mean, these are good. I skipped on it last year, the Bombergers and the Shanks. I think more so because there were so many releases at that time and the prices, and plus I've got one of the other ones on the shelf. But coming back to it, I mean, Bombergers is damn good.
What is that, man? That's interesting.
So you said you were just down in Bardstown recently, Dan?
Just for the pick that we did, the Bardstown pick in the Green River.
So you'll have. So did you just do one at each place?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, got the both of them are bourbons. I believe next month we should see the I think we should see the Bardstown first and then the Green River. So
okay. So the Bardstown, what are they doing for their single barrel picks? It's a bourbon, you said. Is it like higher age?
No, I want to say I want to say it's 6 years.
Okay. Not too
I
bad.
think by the time it's released, it's going to be six plus. I can't remember the exact age of it. But yeah, so it's going to be 6 years. And I want to say it's going to be like one of the white labels, the white label.
Okay.
Yep. So that should release first because they release in odd and even months. So I think the even months release that's Bardstown, and then the odd. So the following month will probably be the Green River.
So Green River, for those of you that don't know, is I think they call it their sister distillery.
Yeah.
Dan.
Yep.
So when you go down, do you coordinate both of them, or did you go to Bardstown and then go to Green River and then try to tie it together?
So I coordinated it. So originally I had a pursuit pick set up, but then 21090 went to pursuit, and I know Jason had gone to pursuit another pick, and I was like, well, wait a minute, this is going to be a lot of pursuit to hit the market. So then I kind of switched it up. I canceled the pursuit pick, and I was like, you know what? Since we're going to be down and doing a Green River pick, let me call Bardstown and see if I can get that. Sure enough, I was able to set that up, through the email chain, put me into contact with the person down there, and then got that set up for the day after. So it literally worked out perfectly. So, but I know, they the Mash and Journey, I think they just went down there and picked like 3 barrels. So I want to make sure ours gets through first. And they don't flood the market.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of tricky, right? When you know that there's other channels and there's probably some overlap between your group and it's hello again, Whiskey Friends. They were there with you too.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of overlap between these groups.
Right. Yeah. So, with Jason, like, he has they obviously have a huge following, and there won't be any issues selling their portion. But if they were to flood the market with 3 different barrels at one time.
Yeah. I mean, that could present, now there might not be as much demand for somebody else to just.
Yes, for sure.
No, I get what you're saying. I want to say last year, I think the Green River pick that they did was, I think that sold out faster than anything else.
It went pretty quick.
And then I think more groups kind of got on that train. So there were a lot of Green River picks towards the end of last year, beginning of this year.
I mean, they have their flavor profiles that they have there are just kind of so different. When we first tasted through, we were like, some of these taste similar. And we're like, well, we don't know. We were kind of having a hard time trying to pick one, and we talked to the guy, and we're like, hey, like, these are all great samples, but they really don't kind of fit the profile that we're looking for. And he was like, okay, well, let me run to my office really quick. He runs to his office, brings back, I don't know if it was 2 or 3 more, poured those. First one we tried, we're all like, holy crap! Like, okay, this is the stuff here. So. Those fit our profile that we were looking for way better than the original batch did.
I think you're right. I think they are kind of they're all over the place.
Yeah.
I think it was like maybe late last summer. I got a single barrel pick Green River from like the local Total Wine, and I was excited to see it because I think it was like the first one I saw local. So I picked it up, and the prices are awesome. It's like $60, $69 maybe, and I hate it. It's terrible.
Really?
So maybe that's why it's maybe why it's young, or it's, I don't know why it's inexpensive, but this Total Wine Green River pick I've got is terrible.
That's crazy.
And then I got the full proof like in the fall, and I thought, okay, it's a bit better, it's a little bit more balanced. And so I wasn't super jazzed on the Green River picks until I think we got a Barrels for Hope one.
Yeah.
And that's really good.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so there's a lot of variation between the Green River barrels.
Barrels for Hope one is really freaking good, man.
Yeah, that was really good. And then the Bourbon Junkies Evernorth They got a bunch of Green River barrels,
Yes.
and the ones that I've had from them have been even better. Like I think they got somehow lucked into getting just an insane lot of the Green River stuff. I think
Yeah, I'm excited to get ours, get ours bottled and get it out. I think it was at that point, by the time we picked it, it was going to sit in the barrel for like another two months. So just get a little extra age to it. But I think everybody's going to be pretty satisfied with what we picked. So we were down to 2, and both of them were fantastic. So but
yeah, I like the picks that I've got from that particular group that you guys have had together for the last 5, 6, maybe not that many, the last few releases. Like the Hard Truth pick is really good. That old Dominic with the red label, I like that one a lot.
Yeah, the some of the Nashville barrel stuff is really good.
Oh yeah, you know what? I still got that one on my shelf right next to me. The D Team. That was one of my favorite ones from
D Team. Yeah, D Team was good. Did you try the Sonic Boom?
Yeah, I got that one too.
Sonic Boom. Yeah.
I that was one of those. I was going crazy for the Nashville picks, so I've got like so many of them, and I kind of go back to them. At some point I'll circle back, but yeah, the Sonic Boom, the D Team. I still got some of the ones from the year before, like EDHD did a few. I think Josh did a few.
Yeah, D Team was really good, man. Very dark.
Yeah, I mean they're all super dark.
Yeah.
Marty, I did try the two. They're both very good. Marty got, I think I got that same Green River pick from Total Wine, and I sent one to Marty. I don't think he liked it either. Sad to see the D Team go. Yeah, that's the thing about the single barrel picks is once they're gone, that's it, right?
Yeah.
So your strategy could be like me is just keep buying other stuff. That way you don't run out of certain.
I try to usually buy enough to where I could put one in a bunker for way down the road. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I don't usually buy backups of things, but there's been a few, maybe less than like a handful of things I bought like backups.
Yeah.
I've of all my bottles, I've probably got like 5 or 6 that I haven't opened, and a few of them are backups. Like I just open shit when I get it.
Yeah, I mean I have a handful of stuff, non dusty stuff that is unopened, but I do have a nice little chunk of some dusty stuff that is still unopened, just kind of waiting for the right time to to crack them open. So
all right, so here's an interesting note, Dan. So this is the Shanks 2024 91.2 proof that I'm drinking after the PFG and after the Bombergers 24. This one, to me, this tastes like a wet baseball card.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't
like that. Is that like a fresh bottle, or is it just a sample?
No, this was a sample that I got probably about 4 or 5 months ago.
Wow.
I got the Bombergers and the Shanks sample at the same time.
That's crazy, man.
Bombergers was surprisingly good. This is surprisingly bad.
Yeah.
They're like I could just picture in my head like a wet Topps baseball card. Yeah. It's odd.
Joseph, any more than a handful, you're risking his faint.
My man. Weird Science reference, Joe. I must have watched that movie about 7,000 times when I was.
Hey, Green River Foolproof is probably one of the best bangs for your buck that you're going to get, man. For the price point for that.
Yeah, for 6. I mean, with picks, I mean, if you can get something in that $60 to $70 range, that's good. It's going to sell because, people factor in the shipping, and then, it's 80, 90, $100, and it's a lot easier to swallow if it's that than $100 bottle plus another, $20
for sure
shipping.
I mean, there was I forget what the what is it called? Barrel heads. I want to say that Green River Foolproof was down there for like $45 or something like that. I
think it's just a $50 bottle, right?
Huh?
I think it's just a $50 bottle.
Yeah. I think it was 50, but I think they had it was either 40 or $45 down there on one of the little end cap things. But yeah, man, that was a great price for that, regardless.
All right, so I'm not going to finish that. That's not my jam.
Some of these have definitely changed with air.
Okay. So have you figured out a favorite yet that you might have there?
A favorite. I would either say the triangle or the square. I really like the circle. I think I might know what that is.
Okay.
I think I might know what it is.
Okay. This would be interesting. Trying to find my D team.
I'm curious.
There we go.
Oh, you got it?
All right. Out of the Nashville picks that I've got, this one probably has about the least. Like most of them are up to like here. This one about halfway down. I know I've sampled this out to a few of my buddies.
Yeah, that one was good, man. I think I have one backup of that, and then maybe don't judge me by gauging a bottle, but I want to say maybe like 8 ounces roughly left in that bottle.
I just remember picking that one up. I think it was before I even was in your group. Like I think like some of them made it into Josh's.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm like, okay, I'll try that.
Yeah, we crossed over because then we did the one that, when we were there, Mike and James kind of pulled us into the back and was like, hey, you guys want to taste this barrel? And we were like, yeah, of course. And tasted that, and that's when we walked out of there with the D team and the stuff and whiskey, and Dusty won the Kryptonite.
Yeah, I don't think I tried that one.
You didn't try that one?
Richie says, "What's the actual retail on Bombergers and Shanks?" Richie, I think Bombergers goes for about $120.
Yeah, they're high.
Shanks about 90 or 100. I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I think they do fluctuate quite a bit from different states. Travis says 99. I think 99 might be Shanks, but the Bombergers is at least 10 to 20 higher. What do we get on the buddy list? I don't know, Joe. You start one. I'll join. Here's Joe. Ooh, yeah, the D team has a nice note on the nose. I got like a lot of toffee on this. I don't remember if that's what I got initially, but like brown sugar and toffee, like that, real nice. It's that note that makes you realize why you like bourbon.
That's right.
You like apricot?
I can send you a sample of the Kryptonite.
I'm pretty sure you gave me a sample of the Kryptonite. No, Danny, I think I sent you a sample of this. This is the D team, and it would have been about a year ago, right? Does that sound about right, Dan?
Yeah. Yep.
The Whiskey Shaman. Cheers, Randall. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, the prices are all over the place, Richie. I'm wondering if they'll start to stabilize a little bit, but I guess we'll find out. I always tell myself I'm going to spend less, and then I just buy more stuff that's less expensive, and it ends up to be the same.
So I was telling myself. I told myself I was going to try to be a little better this year. I still try to find big bulk lots of Dusties and stuff and kind of move them, but
I haven't gone down that rabbit hole.
Don't go down that rabbit hole.
Don't start.
Don't go down that rabbit hole. No, it's it can be a very expensive rabbit hole, a very risky rabbit hole to go down. So
yeah, I can probably just stay away. I have no problem spending a bunch of money just buying bottles that come out every week. Danny says it was Dusty's pick. It was a banger. Yeah, it was definitely the D team. And the Nashville stuff. The Nashville stuff is always good, man. It really is. Mm. I did notice that their prices have started to creep up.
Yeah.
I think they went to I think when I first got the first few of these, like they were like 79. Then they went to like 89, 99. Now they're like 119, 120 now.
Yeah. Yeah, I know they invited me back on a pick, and I was like, man, I don't know if I can. Like, I mean, definitely nothing in the 9-year. The 9-year range, I think they want like 139.99.
That's a lot, dude.
Yeah. And then I think 8s and 7s are you're just dropping $10 basically each. So 129 and then 119. So it's tough. It's tough buy right now.
Cheers,
I'm not.
bud.
I mean, the whiskey's great, I'm sure. It's just that's a tough buy.
Yeah, it's just at some point I gotta like exercise some restraint. Like, there's groups, and I know you're probably in some of these groups. Like they'll post, hey, I got an opportunity to get this 15-year-old Augusta something, and the bottle will end up being $300. Should I do the barrel? And I'd be like, no.
Yeah.
But then I'll look at the poll, and it's like 89%. Yes. Like, wow, man.
Yeah.
That's wild. So the people are still buying at those high price points at some point.
Yeah, I mean they definitely are, and there's been some groups that put out those expensive picks, and people will buy them, but it's just I think Nashville has kind of flooded the market. There's a lot of Nashville barrel picks out there.
Yeah, I now that you say it like that, I mean, I tend to agree with you, and I'm just looking at I've got like this shelf where I just have my Nashville stuff, and
Yeah,
there's a good bit of them over there, and I love them all, but yeah, do I really need that many more when I've still got like 75 or 80% left in all of these? And
yeah.
it's
a hard buy, but
when I saw the Sonic Boom, I'm like, okay, well, I want that one because that's like all of you guys, and it's like I like the tie-in. I'm like, you know what, I want that one.
Yeah.
So unless it's something special, I don't know that I need everybody's Nashville pick this year.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I think 5 minutes to get in on the entries. Yeah, at 8:45 we'll cut off entries, and we'll get to spinning the wheel pretty soon. So at this point, so you've drank through all of your flight.
Yes.
Yep, you've got your notes. You got a pretty good handle on things. As good as you're gonna get.
Yes, good as I'm gonna get.
All right, so let's do this. Let's ask Dan some questions here.
All right.
Let me get my key up here. All right, Dan. So here we go. So there's 10 questions, and there's going to be a right answer for each one. There may be more than one right answer, so on those ones you might have a better chance of getting a point. So
okay,
total possible points is 10. So
okay.
The first question: which of the samples is the highest proof?
Oh.
All right, no hesitation. And let me take a look at what O was.
I mean, it's tough, all man. Right. Okay. There's another one that's I could put there with it, I feel, but
when you respond to a question like that and your response is so quick, what do they tell you? They always trust your instinct, right?
Go by your gut, yeah. We'll see.
All right. So then the next question is, which is the lowest proof?
I have that as the square.
Okay.
Which I don't think is correct, but
okay. All right. Number 3, which of the samples is a finished whiskey?
So you said there could
be one. There could be more than one.
I mean, O for sure.
Okay.
Unless I've lost my mind, man.
All right. Number 4 is, which of these samples is a bourbon?
For the finish, I'll put the square on there too. All
right. So let me back up. So while there might be more than one correct answer, you only get to give one answer.
Oh, okay, I'll do the circle then. That's fine.
Okay. I mean, I don't mean to tell you can do one or the other. You just got to pick one.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll do this. We'll go with the circle.
Okay. All right. So number 4 is, which of these is a bourbon? Here's Jason.
I'm gonna go with That's changed.
Yeah, this D team is making me happy.
Oh goodness. I guess the square. Oh,
right.
man, I want to say it's the triangle too, though. Douglas,
Independent
Papa,
Joe,
what's going on, man?
give me Independent Joe. What state are you in, man?
He's in Cali.
Oh, he's a West Coaster. Okay.
Yep.
All right, I didn't mean to cut you off, Dan. What did you say, buddy?
I have no idea.
All right, so 4 is which of these is a bourbon? Did you come up with a?
Yeah, I think I guess the square. I mean,
Okay. All right, how about number 5? Which of these is a rye?
the X.
Okay. All right. Question 6. Of these samples, which has the highest age statement?
Ooh, the triangle. Wait a minute.
Take your time. I won't lock you in until you tell me. If anybody's still sitting on a bottle of the D Team Nashville Barrel Pick, go back to it. Let me know what you think. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
I'm gonna go with the O for age.
O for age.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Now here we go. Which of these has the highest MSRP?
The triangle.
And the next question is, which is the lowest MSRP?
The circle.
All right, last 2. Number 9. Which of these was distilled in Kentucky?
That's what I don't know.
All right,
I'm going with the X.
X. All right. And then the last question is, which of these is distilled in Michigan?
The square.
All right, the square.
I'm probably wrong on that. It's probably the triangle, but
All right.
I feel like the triangle is something that I haven't had before.
I think you're right. Marty says D Team is long gone here in North Carolina.
I like, my gut is wanting to say that the triangle is from Michigan, but something is telling me that the square is from Michigan, and I don't know what, because I don't know what the hell that is.
All right, you tell me what to lock you in on for
I just I guess the square. We'll just go with the square.
All right.
I'm wrong, but it's
all right. I'll tell you what. I think you started out really hot, and I think you got stuck on one of these, and it might have led you down a few answers that you might have not otherwise given. All right. So the first question I had was, which of these is the highest proof? And you guessed O.
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is, come on, scroll down, Tom. The answer is O.
Okay.
So you got that one right. Now, what this one is, I don't think there's anything you've even heard of, Dan.
It's got to be some kind of single malt, something.
This is Grand Traverse Distillery, Old George, cask strength, single barrel, straight rye. Traverse City,
rye.
Michigan. So shout out to you, Bourbon Dan. Distilled in Traverse City, Michigan, 130.2 proof.
Okay.
This was a Myers pick, I think, if I recall. About
There,
6
so
years.
there's no wow. That's a straight rye whiskey.
Yep.
It
And
smells like a single malt.
Does it? I haven't gone back to this one in a minute. This was a few years old.
What? I swear this was like an old line.
It does have a single malt vibe to it for
Oh,
sure.
100%.
I get like
That's
single malt, and
insane.
I could smell some mint on it too.
Wow.
But have you ever even heard of this brand?
I've never heard of it. So that's the Michigan brand.
This is one of them for sure.
Yeah,
This is Grand Traverse. They distill all of their own, not to be confused with Traverse City Distillery, which is mostly sourced.
Gotcha.
And they seem to be a bit more popular, but this is local. I don't even know if they distribute out of Michigan. I could be wrong. So you got that one right.
Okay.
All right. So number 2 was which is the lowest proof, and you guessed Square, and the right answer was Square.
Okay.
So you got that one too. This probably isn't what you were thinking. This is an Angel's Envy single barrel of their bourbon. So it's the what is it? Port finished is what they do all their bourbon in, Dan.
That tastes like
Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey finished in port wine barrels, 110 proof. Yeah, 55 ABV, or 55, 110 proof. So you got.
It tastes like you know what it almost reminded me of a little bit, and I know you've had it.
That's the one you said it was really fruity, right?
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of the cobbler.
The Evernorth.
Yeah,
I will have to try that next to it because
I mean,
Angel's Envy, I'll be honest, is one of my least favorite distilleries.
Yeah.
And this is a pick from one of my local stores that puts out picks that I love. And I'm like, you know what? I'll try it. And I don't like it. Anything Angel's Envy for some reason just doesn't work for me.
It's so fruity.
I think that's got to be the wine, right? The port.
It has to be. I mean, I'm shocked it's only one finish.
Well, that's okay. So right now you're 2 for 2. I'm thinking, okay, Dan, he's coming out firing.
This is where we go downhill.
Well, let's see. So the next question was, which one is a finished whiskey? And you guessed O.
Yeah.
And O is the straight rye here. So no, that was not one of the ones that's a finished. Okay, so you didn't get that one. 4, which is a bourbon. You guessed Square. And Square is the Angel's Envy.
Right.
So yeah, you did get that one. Okay. So you got 3 so far. Number 5, which is a rye. And you guessed X.
Yeah.
Now you're going to be floored when I show you what X is.
Is that 13?
Yeah.
What?
Russell's 13. I'm looking at my key to make sure I got it right. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's Russell's 13.
Why does it drink?
So no, that's not rye.
Spicy. Wow, that is
maybe
great.
That might have been a little bit of the proof. I mean, I know it's got a little bit of kick to it. Instead of, sometimes I confuse spice and proof.
Wow.
Because they're both, heat. But yeah, that was
wow.
What X was. X was the Russell's 13.
Wow.
All right, so number 6, which has the highest age statement? You guessed O.
That's incorrect.
No, O is this one, which is about 6. So, the 13 is the one that had the highest age statement. All right, number 7, which has the highest MSRP. You guessed Triangle, which I haven't put that one up yet, but I'll show you what that is. Triangle is going to be one that I know you haven't tried, and I've only had about a pour of it, Dan. But I thought I'd throw one of these in here since we're going to be going.
New Holland. Oh, it's Evernorth.
Evernorth.
Oh,
and this is the Evernorth XR2, which is a 7-year 95.5 Indiana whiskey, so it's MGP. And this is a ruby port finished.
wow.
MSRP on this about 60. I think this was either 65 or 69. I'd have to look at my notes, but it was not
The highest.
the highest.
Okay.
All right, then we get to 8, which was the lowest. You guessed O, which isn't actually a bad guess, but the least expensive bottle here was the Evernorth.
Okay.
These single barrel ryes from Grand Traverse are 79. This was either 64 or 69. Number 9, let's see, which was distilled in Kentucky. You went with X. X is Russell's 13. So you got one there. And then the last question was, which was Michigan? And you went with Square. And that was the Angels Envy. So
yep.
no. So I got you with
4.
4. So not bad. But yeah, this was probably a little bit tricky.
Yeah. The whole time
Yeah,
I was thinking that this was like one of the like the old line American single malt, and I was literally banking on that. So I picked that as the highest age because I remember it being, I think it was what. Like,
and then once you tie yourself to this is what it is, then you're gonna guess what that price is, and then you know, instead of doubling down and you're gonna get them both, you're gonna get neither.
Man, that is, I swear that smells like an American single malt. That is crazy.
That's this rye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I just opening the cork and smelling the bottle. I think you're right. It smells malty and minty. And if I remember correctly, it's got some heat. I mean, it's 130 proof.
Yeah.
Not bad, but not one of my favorites either. Like, I think that was okay. This was one of my favorites, and yeah, it must have been hitting weird. Maybe it was
yes, it drank so
spicy.
Like,
yeah,
one of the first things
I don't know that I got too much spice on this one. But what is it? 117 proof, so it's got a little bit of kick.
Yeah.
No, it's 115, 114.8. But yeah, sometimes wild turkey is hard for me to pick out in a blind.
Yeah.
Randall says blinds will make you second guess yourself all day. Yeah, absolutely. That's why it's like, you know, when you pick your response and you go right with it, just stick with it. And I think, you know, you were doing that at the beginning, and then on a couple of these you went back and forth, and I wrote down a couple and then you changed it. Like you would have 2, and I'm like, all right, and then you were gonna get them both. So yeah,
that was great, man. That's a great flight. Thank you.
Yeah, blinds are humbling for sure,
all over the place, flavor profile wise.
So I mean, and I wrote down some of your notes here. I think you wrote O was the one that was the chocolate malt and yellow cake, and that was also the one that's
malt, yellow cake, all spice.
So this is a bit of an adventure. This one,
yeah.
Triangle, you said, was the rhubarb pie
on the nose. Yeah, I put double barrel. Rhubarb pie, cinnamon oak, subtle chocolate.
That's a lot of awesome notes for this XR2.
Yeah,
and I mean, I think this was one of their 1-year anniversary drops that was a few weeks ago. So I know I poured myself one, and then I think I gave away a couple of samples, but I haven't gone back to it since. And I remember thinking, wow, this was, you know, really good. So yeah, those are some really interesting notes. I'm definitely going to go back to it.
Yeah. X, I put rye, sweet oak, subtle kind of breadiness, citrus notes, muted strawberry. That's what I was getting on that Russell's.
See, and to me, Dan, that's all really impressive as far as how you can tap into those notes.
And then the square I put mixed berries, peach, grape, because that just got.
When you said, I think for square you said very familiar, and which one was the square again? Angel's Envy. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've had Angel's Envy picks or Angel's Envy bourbon, so it would be familiar.
Roger Reese. It was the Michigan.
That was this one, Roger. The Grand Traverse Distillery rye at cask strength. What did you ask, Richie? Richie asked, Tom, do you and Dan know Valentine Distillery? I believe they're in Michigan, but never seen Pingree here yet. Yeah, Richie, that's probably about 15 minutes from my office, Valentine. I had actually reached out to them to see if they wanted to have somebody on a stream recently, and I guess the guy's really private. He doesn't want to be on a stream, but he invited me out there to taste through some barrels and stuff. So maybe we'll do that soon. But yeah, they're really close. You've had Mayor Pingree, Dan.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, it's an interesting distillery. They do a lot. They distill their own, but then they also source a lot. So then they blend it sometimes too. So I'll look for when they do their drops that are like their own distillate, which I think is fantastic. But it's definitely in the minority in terms of the volume. Like most of their stuff is the MGP or the blends. But if you can find something that's Valentine that's their own distillate, it's fantastic. Richie, you mean to tell me you've never tried anything Pingree? All right. I'll put a few samples together for you, my friend. All right. We've got 9 o'clock. Let's spin the wheel, Tyler. Let's give away some booze.
Let's do it. Thanks again, Tom. This is great, man.
Well, Dan, I thank you for making yourself available. I know it's not always easy. We all have our times of the week that work, and when we step out of that comfort zone, it does affect our work schedule and stuff like that. So I do appreciate you,
of course, man,
accepting and coming on and hanging out and being part of the experience.
Yeah, man, this is a blast. Definitely challenging. I'll tell you.
Blinds are always fun. They're always challenging. They're always humbling. And I wrote down some of your notes. I think you kill it on some of these for sure. Whether or not you got the right answer, I mean, whatever. But the notes that I think that on some of these that you mentioned are fantastic. All right, so Tyler, why don't we do this? We've got everybody on the wheel. Let's hit shuffle once for the hell of it. When you do these, Dan, you always do shuffle or no?
Yes.
See, I say yes because random is random. It seems more random if you shuffle.
Yep. But
the spin is random anyway.
Anyway, so, yeah.
If you're a math nerd, you can really get into whether or not if it makes any sense or not. But whatever. All right, we've got everybody lined up.
I have trouble displaying mine, so
let's do this. We've got it in random order. Tyler, why don't you go ahead and spin it? And the first prize is going to be the single barrel Detroit City Distillery Butcher's Cut with the venison whiskey sticks that were made with the Detroit City Distillery whiskey. Danny? All right, buddy. I will get a hand delivery your way, my friend. Danny's actually one of the guys that I can hand deliver to. All right, so what does Sugar Katie say here? What we see, though, is only the juice. Okay, interesting. Okay. Second prize is going to be a flight, and it's going to be a flight of the whiskeys that Dusty Dan was drinking here, which are going to be these four, if you can see them all on my screen. It's going to be the Evernorth XR2, the Port Finish Rye, 95.5 MGP, Ruby Port Finish. I don't know if I said that. The Russell's 13, and I think this was from 2023. The Angel's Envy single barrel pick from one of the local shops, and the Grand Traverse Distillery Old George single barrel rye that is really just all over the place and seemed to change quite a bit as we got through it here tonight. So second prize will be a flight of these 4 samples. So I would give it a spin. Mr. Roger Reese. Roger Reese continues his winning streak. Cheers, Roger. Good for you. And Roger's always been very supportive of the channel. So good for you, man. I appreciate you hanging out and getting in. And you will get this 4 sample flight. Now, last and certainly not least, third prize is going to be a sample of the Russell's 15 from Mr. Dusty Dan, the consensus bourbon of the year from 2024. And that is going to go to Daniel Gundry. Now, Dan, you tell me if I'm correct, but you are Bourbon Dan. Yes? I should probably ask before I throw that out there on the strength of what happened last week. I'm pretty sure, but Dan, I'll get with you. Daniel Gundry, just email me at thebourbonjerk@gmail.com. Let me know what your screen name was. I have a feeling I know, but just to confirm, and I'll get your information passed along to Dusty Dan here. Dan, I got just after 9 o'clock. I know I told you we would stay on point here because we've got schedules to adhere to. Once again, I just want to say thanks for coming on. Thanks for your support, whether you realize it or not. You've kind of helped guide me along here the last 4 or 5 months, and for that I'm grateful to you, my friend.
Well, thank you, man. And again, I much appreciated for having me on again. Great flight here. I think Roger's in for quite the treat, and looking forward to seeing you here very soon, man.
Yeah, it'll go quickly. It's just about 5-6 weeks from now. So
yep.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you. Looking forward to seeing the gang. It should be a blast. Picking some single barrels here. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, man.
Thank you to everybody that hung out, everybody that got in the poll, the raffles tonight. You guys are awesome. Appreciate your support. And until next time, cheers. Thanks for watching. Stay dusty. Is it?
Stay jerky. It works.